that need to be factored in for those estimates. So some of the characteristics of good estimates are, we need to have a clear identification of tasks. What is in scope for estimation, what is not in scope for estimation. What are the rules and what are the assumptions, what are the challenges. All of that needs to be very clearly understood by the team that is doing the estimations. The next guideline is broad participation in preparing the estimates. It is very important that the team members who will be working on it, as well as the project managers or team leads or architects, are involved, so that you're covering all the different aspects and you're trying to make sure that it is accurate, complete, and reliable. You also need to have valid data for the estimates, and you can have numerous organizational sources that you can use for that. But if you have valid data that you can depend on, that will always come handy for you for estimating the next project. We also need to have the standardized structure for the estimate. We need to have a good work breakdown structure, which will have decomposition of the requirements, and that will help us getting more clarity of what we are trying to do and what we are trying to estimate. The provisioning of program uncertainties. We definitely need to factor in what is not known, and we need to have the mitigation plans for any of the risks or uncertainties. We also need to recognize the inflation. If we are estimating based on the current cost, current resources, availability, and current the time plan, it may not work. We need to understand if it's a 2 years, 3 years project, then we have to factor in inflation and all the other economic factors as well. We need to recognize the excluded cost. We need to be very clear what is included in the cost and what is excluded in the cost, what is part of the estimate and what is out of the scope for the estimates. And we need to revise the estimates for significant project changes. Whenever the project environment changes, we need to make sure that we are revising our estimates and then modifying and publishing those estimates. Now, we also can look at what is the different tools and techniques that we looked at and what is their applicability across different industry verticals. So there are different standards or estimation techniques, and their applicability in different industry segments is different. For example, if you take an example of story points, story point, which is a parametric technique, is very widely referred to in information systems in IT environment. But the historical data is very widely used, practically used in almost all the industry segments. So similarly, we can understand what is the applicability of the estimation technique that we are trying to use in our projects. There are some inputs for how to communicate the estimates, how we should explain the estimates to our customers, and there could be multiple ways of doing that. And that of course depends on what kind of environment you work on. Is it a product-based environment or services-based environment or a fixed price or time and material based? But based on that, you can have the estimates communicated in different ways. You can have plus minus qualifiers where you will say that, okay, this project is 6 months plus or minus 1 month, or it can be in a range of estimates. It is 6 to 8 months of duration, or it can be attached with the risk quantification. You can say there will be 2 months added or 2 months delay will happen if the hiring is delayed. So you attach risks with the estimates. You can have the cases like the best case, worst case, planned or current cases estimate. So you can present that information to make it more granular. You can have course dates where you will say, okay, this particular product will be delivered somewhere in Q3 2012. You can have confidence factors included, which is again practically used in many scenarios where I'll say that, okay, I'm 10% confident that it will be delivered on 1st of April, but I'm 50% confident that it will be delivered on 1st of June. And another aspect which is called a student syndrome, which means procrastination unless the last minute, which means prepare when the exams are coming up. So defer the estimations actually until they are required. So if you see in Agile, we provide the high-level estimates initially, and we provide the low-level or the task-level estimates only when the specific sprint or the duration of time is going to start. So we defer it until that. Now let's